How's it going, everybody? This is Novakast back with another video, and I'll be doing a quick review of a particular show that, to an extent, I almost avoided because, how should I put this without offending anybody? To an extent, especially with shows that come from Adult Swim, a lot of them just weren't my cup of tea. If anything, they just were very obnoxious. The humor came from, some of the I guess if anything, it's like the grossed out humor to an extent, and I kind of felt like that's all they relied on most of the time with their, again, their humor. But to an extent, I saw this one kind of circling through the internet, and I believe one of the guys that created it and helped voice it also is a part or takes part in Oni Plays, so I had to check it out. So, Smiling Friends, it's a 8-episode series released on Adult Swim, created by Michael Kozak, Zach Hayden, and starring Michael Kozak and Zach Hayden and Mark M. The basic premise is you have these two guys that go around and attempt, and I say attempt because it happens a lot, attempt to help people. And each episode is its own wacky adventure. In fact, there's one episode where they literally go on an adventure, like a fantasy adventure, and the animation for one of the characters is close to a Rack-and-Bass animation from The Hobbit. So, to an extent, it's pretty cool. So, all in all, I'm going to say, especially with some of the humor, it's kind of hit and miss. There's some moments that were actually really hilarious. And I think, if anything, it's just because the actors, with their delivery of the lines. Some moments, especially with some episodes, were interesting. I will say it kind of dragged for a couple of episodes, for the most part. But as time progressed, some of the episodes were kind of good. Or if anything, actually, no. As you guys could tell, I'm mixed. I have mixed feelings about this, because again, it's kind of like a hit miss situation, where there's some moments where it is kind of not that great, but at the same time, like littered within those particular moments, there are moments where it's like really freaking good. And some of the jokes are kind of hilarious. I guess going forward, talking about the characters, you have the characters, like the main characters being Charlie and Pim, who are like kind of polar opposites of each other. While one person is highly optimistic, as to being a smiling friend, though periodically has had their optimism kind of shredded into pieces. You have one particular character who, I'm just going to flat out say, Charlie, who is a pessimist, somebody who does not want to do any work, and to an extent kind of hates a lot of the stuff that's going on. That's made apparent, I think, if anything, the only time he is ever interested with his job is if it interests him. I guess the best examples would have to be this one episode where they prevent somebody from unaliving themselves, and Charlie's kind of unmotivated about that. And then there's another episode where they're helping a shrimp get his girlfriend, and to an extent Charlie doesn't want to do that and just kind of do something completely different and try to change his image to try to help him get girls. And at the same time, Pim wants to do all of this, but he doesn't want to. Or Pim wants to. like, you know, do everything, but eventually it kind of boils over to the point where he's not happy. There are some good moments with animation. To an extent, I've always been iffy about the particular animation with, or at least that's presented in Adult Swim shows. It's each character is very distinct with their shape and their look. There are several times where, I'm not gonna lie, it seems like they use rotoscoping for a few animation, for at least for the side characters. There is a couple of moments of 3D animation, or if anything, I guess the best way to put it, stop motion, which is pretty interesting, to say the least. Not much of music in a show like this, and to an extent, you know, honestly, with everything, it's okay. And I don't think it was necessary for music for this. I mean, it's relatively short. Each episode is close to 15 to 20 minutes. You're lucky if you get the 20 minutes. But anyway, all in all, this was an alright show. Not, again, coming from somebody who has not always been a fan of, you know, Adult Swim shows. To an extent, I will give it credit for some of its better moments. So I'm kind of split though, giving a final rating, because again, it's like half and half of the good moments. And you know what? Animation was alright. Some of the characters were alright, except for Boss. Mr. Boss is fucking creepy. But all in all, it was, it was an alright show. I think what I can possibly give it is honestly, a 7 out of 10. I want to give it a higher rating, but to an extent, again, there's a couple moments where it just felt like it kind of dragged. So, all in all, 7 out of 10 for my final rating. And with that, that was my review of, well, Smiling Friends. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys can, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. Also, if you have anything you'd like to add to my review, if there's anything I missed or anything that you'd want to talk about, leave it in the comments down below. Follow us on social media. Links are in the description down below, as well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Rob Novakast signing off. Have a good one. Take care. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.